Hello everyone. Got a huge week of NFL football. We've got the conference championships this weekend. I'm going to talk you through both the games and my picks. We've got some huge storylines, some huge matchups. Arguably the four best teams that really deserve to be here are still in the NFL this season. And so yeah, can't wait for a huge week of football. We're going to get straight into it. And at 8 o'clock English time, we've got the Packers against the Bucs. Tampa Bay coming into Lambeau. This is a huge matchup. Two of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, obviously getting towards the end of their career. But two guys that are still absolutely balling out in this league. Obviously Tampa Bay last week went into the Dome in New Orleans and won pretty convincingly. Offensive side, their defense was huge, stepped up massively, caused Drew Brees to throw 3 interceptions. And basically was the main reason why they won that game, got themselves field position, scored their points, and were well worth their win last week. Then we had Green Bay, obviously, in their first playoff game, given their first seed they received. They were at home at Lambeau against Los Angeles, and for me, won pretty convincingly. Didn't really step out of third or fourth gear. Always controlled the game, and won pretty easily, and were the better team. Wow, we've got some matchups. Two of probably the best offenses this year. Obviously, we know Green Bay is the best rated offense this year. They've got the MVP, the main man, Aaron Rodgers. How can you talk about Green Bay without talking about Aaron Rodgers? First in touchdowns and QB rating. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year. He's led the line superbly. But there's one man, obviously, which has helped Aaron Rodgers to those stats lines, and it's Devonte Adams. He's been superb. You talk about Aaron Rodgers with all those first place stats. You've got receptions, receiving yards, touchdowns. All three of those, Devonte Adams tops the league in this season. He's been superb. Last week, obviously, there was a lot of talk about him going up against one of the best corners in the league, Jalen Ramsey, and he still went for 70 yards and a touchdown, so he was superb. But what I don't want this Green Bay-led offense by Aaron Rodgers just to get pinned to they can only throw to Devonte Adams because they have so many weapons, and it showed last week. Alan Lazard came up huge. He went for over 90 yards and got that 60-yard touchdown, which was huge for them. Obviously, they got the main man who finds the end zone in Robert Tonyan. He's got 11 TDs this year, and I'm sure if it comes close and is a bit of a gritty game come the third or fourth quarter, Rodgers will be looking for that big man in the end zone. And one guy I don't want to go under the radar too much is MVS. Obviously, wasn't really there last week, but Valdez-Scantling is a huge threat going deep for the Packers. He leads the league in yards per catch and is a huge weapon to have. Look, you don't have to throw the ball to him 7-8 times a game. You don't need to do that. But just knowing that Rodgers has got that deep arm and can throw to Valdez-Scantling and spread the field and score a 60-70 yard reception touchdown is huge for Green Bay and just allows a little bit of less pressure on the likes of Devontae and Lazard. Yeah, the main thing that really impressed me last week about Green Bay was their rushing. And look, we've talked all season long about Aaron Jones, how good he's been. Double-digit touchdowns, always coming in big yardage. But they've got a real triple threat there, And the LA Rams, the best defense in the league, couldn't even come close to them. They almost rushed for 200 yards last week. Aaron Jones had 99 of them, but Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon, wow, he impressed me. Look, we know playoff football, it's about your big guys making big plays, but also it's about the lower guys when they come on and get their snaps being really efficient. And Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon, boy, were they efficient. They were superb last week. And like I said, that top-rated defense and the Rams couldn't come close to them. Look, this Packers offense is superb. And it'll be hard to stop, especially last week, the Bucs. Yes, their secondary was superb. Devin White impressed me all night long, made some huge plays. But Alvin Kamara still ran for 85 yards. They're a good defense, maybe even really good. But this Green Bay offense is elite. Adding to that, obviously, electric offense that Green Bay have, the Tampa Bay defense against pass hasn't been great this year. They ranked 21st in the league. So yeah, maybe a few holes there. However, saying that, they came up huge last week. Boy, Devin White, wow, he was really impressive, made some big plays. Obviously, so got Carlton Davis, who's been superb. He's led their team in interceptions this year with 4. And a secondary that's been impressive these last couple of weeks especially. However, Green Bay don't really turn over the ball that much. Rodgers has only thrown for 5 interceptions this season. Funnily enough, 2 of those actually came against Tampa Bay in their regular season matchup where the Bucs absolutely blew away the Packers. Probably the worst Packers performance I've seen all season. But what was also interesting about those stats were those 2 interceptions were both targets to Devonte Adams. And going off last week especially, Green Bay have got a lot of options to throw to, so maybe they don't need to use Devonte as much. However, if you've got the main guy, the main wide receiver this season, the first team All-Pro in Devonte Adams, you're going to use him. You can't talk about elite offenses without talking about Tom Brady, and he leads the Bucs this year. He's been absolutely superb. Look, you talk about Green Bay having weapons, but Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, they just keep coming, honestly. Who do you cover? Who do you guard? Brady's got a whole bunch of players to look out for on that offense. Yeah, obviously we've seen also in recent weeks that rush game, Leonard Fournette's kind of take the RB1 role, and Rodgers had a bit of a step back. But even when he came in with his snaps, he was really efficient. Leonard Fournette obviously was north of 100 yards last week. And yeah, impressive again. I mean, how can you can't just say, you can't rule out Tom Brady. You cannot rule out Tom Brady in the playoffs. Because if you do, it will come back to bite you in the arse, because he is just a different level when it comes to this. And look, people can talk about going to Lambeau, playing in the cold, playing in the snow. Brady's played it in New England for 20 years. He'll be fine with the weather, don't you worry about that. But yeah, we've got 2 electric offenses, 2 solid defenses, but it's going to come up to the big plays like it always does in playoff matchups. Can either team make the plays, especially in the secondary? Can the defensive line rush and maybe make a spillage on Rodgers or Brady? We know Tampa Bay is a defense that love to blitz. They're 6th in blitz rating in the league. And yeah, it's going to be those big plays. Rodgers only thrown 5 interceptions, lowest in the league. It's a huge matchup. It's one that I know personally I'm just going to enjoy sitting down and watching it for 3 hours, because it's going to be a phenomenal game. And look, both of these guys deserve to be in the Super Bowl. I don't think anyone wants to watch either of them lose. I know there'll be years to come for both of them still. I don't think this will be either of them hanging up their boots come the end of the game. I think this is going to be a shootout. Whoever has the ball in their hands come down the end of the 4th quarter, I'd like to win this game. But I'm actually going to go for Green Bay to sneak it. Do they cover? The cover is at 3 points at the minute. I honestly don't know. I think both of these games this week I won't be betting on because they're too close to call. But I'm going to say Green Bay 34, Tampa Bay 32. I think just at Lambeau, with the way that offense has been clicking all year, maybe their defense comes up with a big pick on Brady in the 4th. Maybe kind of sort of similar vibes to when we played the Patriots in the Super Bowl a few years back. So I'm going with the Packers, going to take them to go into the Super Bowl, and the Bucs are unfortunately just going to miss out on a home Super Bowl. But I would not be surprised if Tom Brady shows us his magic once again, and the Buccaneers will be heading to the Super Bowl. But yeah, 34-32 is my pick, and the Packers to win.